Activists, part 6. Apologies for the pause in the telling of this very long story. But before I go any further, I want to address a few things. One of the most active members of the Snark group, who is also a moderator, asks this question. She wants to know if anyone else thinks I'm using filters in order to hide my dead eyes. I've been able to make it 41 years without this accusation, and if this is true, I want you to tell me right now. I'm ready to hear the truth. You can tell me. Just rip off the Band-Aid real fast. As much as it pains me to show you my true self, I have not used a filter yet in this video. So go ahead and judge me for my alleged dead eyes. I'm from California. I'm not a small fish in a big pond. I'm a chubby fish in a big ass ocean of thin, beautiful people. The way that I look is the least interesting thing about me. I do not have to fight to create anything interesting. Why do I use filters? People are incredibly cruel, and I want to make sure that you are listening to me and not just scrutinizing me, and filters help me do that. This whole video so far has been me with no filter. Here is the extent of filters that I am and have been using. Here's one of the filters I use sometimes. Here's another. These help me smooth out my skin, feel a little bit more confident while I do the important work I am doing here. Sometimes they make me feel more confident doing singing videos on this app so that people will listen to my singing and not just decide whether I am pretty or thin enough to be a singer. Out in the world, I don't get to bring filters with me, but when I go into an audition, they are listening to me. How I look might determine whether I get the job, which is fine. It just is what it is. But what they're not doing is shouting, "You're too fat or ugly to be here." And that's what people do on TikTok. So I'm not gonna feel bad for adding a little bit of filtering like this. Let's address that dead eyes concern though. Did you say that just to be mean? Do you just feel comfortable because you think you're anonymous, even though you're not? Do you know what that term means? Did you know that term is rooted in psychology and not just in an accusation about the way someone looks? Have you guys seen the celebrities that people accuse of having dead eyes? It's incredibly mean, but the actual term dead eyes refers to a real thing, and having seen it firsthand, it's really scary, and it's a really ignorant, weird accusation to make of a person. Here I am, I added a filter because now I'm really thinking about the way I look. As much as things like Hollywood and those of us who are performers, that's tricky, those things can really affect the way we feel about ourselves and the way we try to present ourselves. But if I'm being honest, you know what the real problem is? It's people like this poster who go online and say horrible things about the way somebody looks. Nobody is gonna go into that comment and say, "What are you doing?" If you have beef with this person as an activist, in quotes as you say, then maybe focus on that. Can you imagine being part of a 200-person group who allegedly has these massive complaints, and you're looking at me trying to determine if I have dead eyes? You have no actual complaints. And if you do, I invite you. Obviously, I'm looking at your group. Go ahead. Another complaint is that I only talk about this subject, but it's clear if you look at my work that I'm talking about all kinds of things. This is a large part of my career. In addition to the work I do in person multiple days per week, many people have asserted in this group that my purpose is not obvious enough. Here's a challenge. If you know what my purpose or goal was, can you list it in the comments? A lot of people seem to think I'm trying to shut down the truth and that I don't want to talk about the lawsuit. By the end of this series, Activist, you will know about the 9 bogus, perjurious, false, meritless lawsuits that were filed out of jurisdiction by a massive influencer who you need to look more closely at. I empathize with and understand the fact that you didn't really have a lot of info about why I wasn't talking till now. But you're also making up a lot of things, and it's really peculiar. If you're watching really closely, some of you have already probably speculated to yourself, is there a reason some of these people are speaking up so loudly? What did they have to gain here? As I've shown, I don't use extensive filtering. I mostly just try to make myself feel confident enough to address the world. But I want to take a moment to send you to a few really awesome creators who will make you feel great and who are beautiful body positivity speakers. So check those links out.